The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
Hello everyone and welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for tonight's American Pool Supply 150. This is round 5 of the 2017 Premier Racing League American Pool Supply Truck Series, and you're going to get to see all of the action unfold live here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Hi everyone, I'm Samuel Ryman, sitting in for Chris Scarlett, and alongside me in the booth is Sean Ambrose. Behind the scenes doing all the button pushing we have our director Amjad Yamin, and he is using camera sets provided as always by our very own Dougie Beard. Sean, great to have you here. Now you've watched these drivers take on the variety of different courses to open the 2017 season. What do you think Las Vegas has to offer these drivers tonight, and what kind of show do you think we're going to see here?
Sam, Bright Light City, gonna set my soul on fire. Viva Las Vegas, baby! Here we are, Las Vegas, Nevada this evening, here in Clark County, Nevada. We're just about 15 miles northeast of the Strip, here at this 1.5 mile D-shaped facility, 20 degrees of banking in the turns, very, very, very fast track. The boys here tonight turning some really bad fast laps, Sam. I think we're going to see some side-by-side action, lots of really competitive racing this evening. The grip has looked pretty good so far this evening. 30-second laps, about 30.5, really, really strong. Let's take a ride around in the GSRC Silverado and give you an idea of what it really feels like to get behind one of these monsters.
Hello, I'm James Grahula with the Global Sim Racing Channel. I'm going to take you for a lap in the trucks around Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Coming for your qualifying lap, the trucks have a lot of grip depending on what type of weather we're having. Look to have trucks going wide open in qualifying. Right there on the bottom, you want to run the shortest line around the track when you still have the grip. On here to the Nellis straightaway, we head into turn 3. Turn 3 is going to be a little bit tighter than 1 and 2. Your qualifying lap, you're going to want to head down all the way to the apron. You get the shortest line. That apron is an option during the race. Look for some drivers to take advantage of that. As the run goes on, look for trucks to start venturing out to the higher lanes as the track becomes more rubbered. This is a progressive banking track, so you're going to see drivers heading up there to get the higher banking and hopefully find some more grip up there. Alright, let's look at a pit stop. Right in the middle of 3 and 4, you're going to want to start slowing down and getting on the brakes. Now, the pit road has been changed here in the last couple years. It's not as tight as it used to be, but still pretty tricky. And there is your lap around the virtual Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
And that's our boy James, don't call me Jimmy Crahula, taking it around in the GSRC Silverado. Here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we have caught up with Billy Tungate, Mr. American Pool Supply himself, the American Pool Supply 150 this evening. Billy, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, bud. How y'all tonight?
Excellent, excellent. What does the track feel like right now? I know it's a little hot out there on the track surface. Any grip?
Oh, yeah, lots of grip. But, about after 20 laps or so, you're starting to push a little.
Well, what's the strategy then? Obviously, you can go longer on fuel than tires, it sounds like. What are you looking to maybe do here this evening?
Well, first off, I'm not trying not to get lapped.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, now I see we just started qualifying, so I don't want to keep you much longer. Let's give a shout out to American Pool Supply. We really appreciate you guys being on board, sponsoring this race tonight.
I appreciate y'all, and I'd like to give a shout out to the bosses and owners of American Pool Supply, Rick and Jack Crockett. And thank you guys for putting on a great show, and I'd like to thank MP3 Designs for the paint on the truck.
All right, Billy. Hey, listen, we wish you the best tonight. Go out there and get your quality lap in, and maybe we'll get you back here on the podium celebration, sir.
Appreciate you, bud. Thanks.
All right, Billy. Best to you. And Sam, that was Billy Tungate with American Pool Supply and one of your competitors tonight, ready to put down a bad, fast qualifying lap.
Yeah, all these cars we've been seeing on screen have not been Billy Tungate, of course. He was just standing outside the track. Now he's finally in the track and taken to the track. But qualifying has started. All of these drivers have retracted themselves for 10 minutes. They all get to set 2 laps. We'll give you your pole award winner in a moment here, as Drew Carroll is currently sitting at the top of the board. Let's talk about who's sitting at the top of the point standings, get you familiar with some of the top names out there in this series. Currently leading points after 4 rounds is Ryan Howard, but he's only just a few markers ahead of James Kahula and Brian Jarzik, and we are very early into the season indeed. Jarzik, the only driver so far this season who has picked up multiple victories, and we're sure this points order will be shuffled as the year goes on. So let's get back down to the track action, because the times are very close, Sean. Just 1,000th of a second separating the top 2 cars right now.
Yeah, Drew Carroll and Tyler Dalton, and then just a mere 10th of a second, or I'm sorry, 100th of a second back is Brian Mellendorf. So very, very tight at the top. Tonight's race is 100 laps. We are running with 100% fuel. Gonna make that fuel window probably somewhere about 40 to 44 laps, Sam. Now, they do run the iRacing fixed setup, so it is, of course, a challenge of driver skill here this evening. And the weather this evening, in daytime conditions here on track, partly cloudy, 75 degrees. It's 102 degrees on track. Billy did like the grip, though, and I got to be honest with you, been watching practice here for quite a while. It does seem like these trucks have plenty of grip here at Las Vegas tonight.
Yeah, and I don't think Billy will be getting lapped as quickly as what he told us he would, because currently he's 10th fastest in qualifying of the 21 drivers that have turned a lap. Now, we mentioned that there are 10 minutes allocated for qualifying. However, the laps have to be turned in those first 5 minutes, because then they've got a mandatory 5-minute long driver meeting tender session. We'll take a look at the grid and also the pole lap as that's going on. Let's see if anyone can take it away from Drew Carroll. Watching Paul Pepper cross the line there currently. He is 6th fastest on the board.
Yeah, it's a good run for Paul, and they got about a minute left to get this lap in. Still got a few trucks out here on track looking to get that top spot.
I think Tyler Dalton has actually already completed these 2-time laps. He's kind of just out here getting some extra practice in right now. So he's going to hold station in 2nd place. Josh Scruper and Paul Pepper also out on the circuit. But I almost wonder if it's the same scenario for them, where no, Josh Scruper is on the 2nd-time lap here.
Yeah, this is his flyer right here. That first lap, not very fast at all. Gotta be honest with you, I don't know if this is a flyer or just one to kind of put a lap down.
Crosses the line. Oh wow, that is a flyer.
Yeah, it was a flyer indeed.
Well, so Josh Scruper breaks onto the 2nd row there. He's lined up alongside Brian Mellendorf right now, and in fact, I think we might want to call it because there are no trucks on track.
Excellent.
Alright, well, let's take a look at our pole winner, Drew Carroll here. This is the MP3 Designs Pole Award. So we're going to ride along with the pole winning lap presented by MP3 Designs here. Drew Carroll in the number 87 machine. A 30.487 was his pole lap, just 1,000th of a second faster than Tyler Dalton. And Sean, it looks like he's liking that low line.
He really is sticking it down there on the white line. You definitely don't want to get it below that. Several drivers in practice talking about trouble down there, but You're seeing here going into turn 3, really got a nice tight line there on the inside, then lets the truck start to roll out just off and back down onto the apron across, just picking up a thousandth of a second down there.
Yeah, continued to ride on board the number 87 machine now. Obviously had a clean track to himself in qualifying. He'll be hoping to see a clear track in front of him when we go racing here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And Sean, these drivers don't get choice of which lane they want to restart in. So he'll have to restart on the low side each time. I have a feeling that's going to be the desired line though, because these trucks are probably going to be flat out through turns 1 and 2 on each restart.
Yeah, and again, I think that low side is where you're going to be safe. Now, we did see several trucks in practice working up along the high line, but, I got to be honest with you, I don't know that the grip levels are going to really be up there up top. But I can't stress enough how important it is down on that low line. You do not want to get those tires transitioning down to the apron there, because that will spell big trouble, and big trouble for everybody behind you if you get out of shape in one of the middle of these turns.
Well, the field is set, and we'll give you a full qualifying order rundown momentarily. There are 20, I'd say that's about 28 drivers here tonight. 23 of them turn laps during qualifying, the fastest a 30.4, the slowest a 30.9. So all of the times quite close. And as Sean mentioned, not entirely sure how strategy is going to play out here. A lot of it can come down to how the cautions fall.
Yeah, it really could, and this could be one of those races where they just get off to a green flag, green flag stretch, and just keep running from there. This track certainly has the potential, and I keep going back to what some of the drivers have been talking about. Pretty happy with the grip out here on track, and I think maybe this new tire model that we've got here in iRacing might have a bit to do with that and how these trucks are handling. But hey, we're going to have a great race this evening, and this is a good field. And I got to be honest with you. Yazik last week, very very fast at Irwindale, and he got the pole and then gets the win. But doesn't have the speed in qualifying here. But I got to tell you, Yazik, pretty hot. We'll have to look and see what he could do tonight. Paul Pepper, another one of those drivers, maybe on the rise. Maybe look out for that 29 machine. He'll be starting on row 4 on the inside.
Well, the drivers are getting ready to go racing in the great city here of Las Vegas. And let's get these drivers ready to drop the green flag here with our national anthem. Just 15 seconds left now until we cross over to the race session, and the engines will fire and we'll get ready for 100 laps of racing action. So let's go ahead and give you that full qualifying order rundown here. Drew Carroll, as we've mentioned, has the pole by 1/1000th of a second over Tyler Dalton. Brian Mellendorf and Josh Scruper on the second row ahead of Dan Murray and Jeff Go. Paul Pepper, Tim Johnston, Jonathan Lawrence and Pierre Daigle round out the top 10, Sean.
All right, and then we're going to go back to row 6. It's going to be Rick Thompson and Billy Tungate. Joe Hassert, Norman Pelletier on row 7. Devin Cannon, Travis McQuiston on row 8. We go back to row 9. It's going to be Reed Rundell on the inside. Brad Collins And then we'll go back to row 10. Brian Yazik on the inside, Jeff Ryan starting 20th.
Yeah, and then the last page here, Don Runkle Jr., Tommy Amassi, and Casey Campbell, the last three drivers to turn the lap during qualifying. Drake Wright, Paul Nicholas, Cooper, Fred Thompson, John Wilco, and Stephen Herron all going to have to try and work their way from the back of the field. 28 trucks here getting set to a race in Las Vegas tonight. Since we're in Vegas, Sean, I've got to ask you before the top of the show here, what's your favourite Elvis song?
My favorite Elvis song just might be Are You Lonesome Tonight?
Okay, well, let's be honest here. These drivers out on the track, they're not going to be lonesome tonight. 28 of them out here tonight, Sean. There's going to be a lot of heavy traffic for these guys to deal with in the opening stages.
Yeah, probably not a great song for this race, indeed. I think Viva Las Vegas is a great song for this race, and we are going to ratchet it up here in just a moment. But yeah, this I expect to see a mad scramble down into one once we get going. We're gridding now and getting ready to pull away here.
Yeah, but you see one driver drop into the apron there, our pole sitter, Drew Carroll, is being given a penalty. He will be starting at the tail end of the field, so even though he took that pole, it'll actually be Brian Mellendorf, I believe, in the number 41, who will have control of the field at the start.
Yet I'm not sure exactly what was behind that. I'm sure we'll get some information on that soon. Didn't see anything in our pre-race notes about a penalty for Mellendorf, but again, I'm sure we'll get some details on that at some point here. We've got 100 laps, long race ahead of us. We'll let you know when we find out.
So indeed, Brian Mellendorf lines up on the inside in essentially what's the P1 position. Tyler Dalton in the number 19 machine starting to his outside. 100 laps, so Drew Carroll definitely has the pace. He will surge fastest in practice. He's got 27 trucks in front of him, but as we mentioned here, Sean, he's definitely not going to be lonesome tonight. A lot of drivers out the front of his windshield as the field comes through turns 3 and 4. Ford Mustang pace car about to make a hard left turn down into the pits. Brian Mellendorf will have control of the field as they come out of turn 4. Fans on their feet for 100 laps of racing here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here they come, crawling down to the start line. Green flag is up in the air. Brian Mellendorf leads them away.
Boy, what a jump by Mellendorf.
Yeah, and Dan Murray's got to be loving this. He qualified 5th, so he got to move up to 3rd with Carroll's penalty, and already he's broken away 2nd as the inside lane really moving through turns 1 and 2. So Dan Murray, it's going to show him starting in 5th and completing lap 1 in 2nd. Likewise, Paul Pepper trying to filter through on the low line and take that 3rd place away from Tyler Dalton as they come around to complete lap 1. In the early stages here, the low line definitely the place to be, but now Brian Mellendorf leads them up high. Some of the trucks going up there, and of course remember iRacing has had dynamic track surfaces for a while. The groove could change as the race goes on, side by side in the middle of the field, single file up front.
Jonathan Lawrence up to 6th on the move, just gets by Skrupa. Lawrence, that 66 machine hooked up right now. Skrupa just behind him, going all the way down to the apron across the start-finish line. Getting confirmation now that Drew Carroll's penalty, that end of line, was actually from the first race he participated in this season at Homestead.
He must have been involved in some kind of incident there that gave him a reprimand and drops him to the back of the field. But as we can see now, there's quite a lot of passes going on in the early stages, and Carroll has made some of his own as they complete lap 3. He's moved up from 28th to 22nd position.
Yeah, he is on the move. Good on him. He's got a lot of traffic left to get through.
See just how bad that traffic is coming out of turn 2 there. And Brian Mellendorf, race leader, see a lot of trucks taken to that low side. Mellendorf seems to like the high line, but I'm not sure how much it's working for him. Dan Murray running him down from second.
Dan is starting to run him down, Sam, and getting a little bit of the toe. And I think just a better handling truck there. Mellendorf may have just gotten those tires a little angry there to start to get that nice jump, but Dan Murray definitely got the pace now.
Well, Mellendorf, are no stranger to victory. He knows how to get the job done up front, but I'm not sure he's going to be holding that lead for that much longer.
Good battle just behind them. You're seeing Dalton down there on the bottom. Jeff Gow in the 92 just above them there as they get through 2.
Yeah, they got two cars of Josh Scroop, 2 trucks rather, of Josh Scroop and Jonathan Lawrence also behind them. A bit of a pack going on there, keeping half an eye on the battle for the lead. Mellendorf still leads them around as they complete lap 6. We ride on board Scrooper here.
Boy, Scrooper almost up in the grass there.
Well, of course, it's all completely imbalanced down there on the apron. And now it looks like, boy, because they're running different lines, you can never quite tell if Dan Murray's making a move from the lead. He keeps running down low, whereas Mellendorf seems to like his cushion up high right now. But so far, Murray's got his nose alongside him from time to time, but still remaining in the second position.
You know what? I'm telling you who's having a fun ride right now. That's Paul Pepper. He's just sitting there in the rocking chair. He's getting to watch these 2 up front. The 4 are battling behind him, and he's just got a nice little protective bubble around him right now. Got a nice little run going on him by himself right in the middle here. Maybe not for long, because they are finding the bumper now of Paul Pepper. Here comes Tyler Dalton. Back to Pierre Degley on screen there. That's a battle for 7th.
Yeah, the back of our picture there, we just saw the first battle almost gone wrong, and that was for 9th place. I think it was Devin Cannon was looking to the inside of Joe Hassett, but his truck kind of washed up on him in the dirty air on the low side, and that actually caused him to drop back a little bit. Meanwhile, Joe Hassett now finds him by this battle for 7th that you were talking about, Sean.
Yeah, Pierre Degley getting under Jonathan Lawrence. They're going to go 3 wide. Joe Hassett going to push it 3 wide across the line. Here they go, down into 1.
Well, there's enough room for it on the straights, and there's enough room for it in the turns, but it's still hairy nonetheless, and that's why Lawrence backs out, but I think it's going to cost him quite a bit here, dropping back to 10th by Cannon, maybe more.
Boy, Lawrence gets really just dropped out of the shuffle on that. Unfortunately, everybody gets by. You see Yazek getting by him down there below now. Devin Cannon made it through. Now he's got to worry about Norm Pelletier here, now making his way through back there. The number 12 on his way. I'm sorry, the number 56.
Keeping an eye on the battles up front and towards the back. Mellendorf still runs in first. Drew Carroll, for those of you who'd like to follow his progress, he has made up to 18th now. Not bad, 10 spots in the first 11 laps.
Pepper and Dalton going at it, Sam. It looks like Dalton going to win this little battle here for the moment. That's going to move him up to 3rd.
Yeah, well, let's not forget Tyler Dalton qualified 2nd and really only dropped back there due to the high line being the undesired lane in the opening stages. Now he's finally got back into his groove. He's moved up to 3rd place. Maybe he can close in on the 2 leaders if they begin battling.
Yeah, and I think he's got that pace right now.
One truck really slow out of turn 4, Sean. Rick Thompson, I guess he must have got loose exit in the turn because he dropped back multiple positions. Keeps it going. You see he's dropped back to 22nd there, and he had started up in 11th and been running around the top 10. So definitely a costly error, whatever happened to him exiting turn 4 last time by.
Yeah, Rick's going to have a lot of work to do from back there. Checking on things back up front, Tyler Dalton is really starting to catch him now, Sam. He's just about a half a second faster, and that gap is starting to close.
Yeah, well, I almost wonder if the fact that Tyler dropped back in the early stages means that he got to save a bit of rubber. Maybe he can use that to run down these two leaders, as you're mentioning here, Sean, because the gap between Brian Mellendorf and Dan Murray has opened up. Maybe we will see a battle for second here in the not-too-distant future as Mellendorf finally has a bit of a cushion.
Yeah, I think so. I think Tyler's in a groove right now, and what I do like about the way Dan's truck is handling, it seems to move through the center of the turn very, very well. It's a very nice runoff, as you see here on screen. He closes up on Mellendorf a little bit there, but these front three definitely getting ready to hook up.
One truck very slow on the apron open turn 3 and 4. That's Casey Campbell, who had been running in 24th and not having a brilliant start to the race. Unfortunately now for him, he's dropped far back, probably going to go a lap down. I don't see too much damage on that number 75 machine, but he is coming into the pits and that will push him off a lead lap.
I'm afraid he got in trouble off of turn 2 and the car just pushed up into the wall, and he grabs the wall on the exit and gets that damage on the right side and brings it in the pit.
Jarzik making his way up through the field, as is Tyler Dalton. He has caught Dan Murray now. And the other thing interesting here, though, Sean, is so have Paul Pepper and Josh Scruper. We have a 4-way battle for second brewing.
Yes, it is. Wow. We're just about to hit that 20-lap mark, and got a great race up front here. We got 5 trucks just really battling hard, and don't look now, but here comes Jeff Gow, Brian Yazik, and Big Joe Hatzer.
Lord Almighty, I feel the temperature rising here as these trucks getting close to each other. Who's going to break out and take second place and try and run down Mellendorf, who's not too far ahead of him? Dalton gets underneath. Murray tries to crowd him down to the apron.
Yikes, that was close. I really thought they were going to connect that time. Still close, heading out of 2. Here comes Scrupa with a run on the outside. Momentum off the top. Sam looking to make a move on Dalton here in 3.
Yeah, the low line not as good as it once was right now. Scrupa going to try and make us work up high, and I think he's done it.
Boy, I love how the line keeps changing too for several drivers here. This is great, Sam. This is the type of racing you want to watch every week.
Well, I almost wonder if it's not so much a line yet, Sean, as it is due to the tyres. The fact that when these tyres were fresh, they had the grip that they could make those moves stick on the bottom. But now that the tyres have kind of worn, they're sliding up when they're on the bottom side. Meanwhile, I think we have a truck off on the front straight. Fred Thompson going through the grass. We stay green though. This battle really heating up front. Scrupa's taken second place, and now he wants to think about taking this lead from Mellendorf.
We're hearing there was a car on the wall. I think maybe it was Jonathan Lawrence, actually it was, coming out of turn 2. He got up in the wall. Everybody gets by.
And here we go up front. Scrupa, looks like we're about to have our first lead change of the day. Number 25 machine making the move stick before they even get to turn 1. He's not going to have to worry about the dirty air. Mellendorf does have the opportunity to do the crossover move if he feels like it, but he doesn't. Bit of a battle going on back here for third too.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it enough, but here comes Brian Yazik in the HPP Simulations Ford. He is running, and Yazik now attacking the front of this field. He up 14 spots. He's now found the bumper. Tyler Dalton on board with him here now.
Yazik's moved up 14 spots. Drew Carroll has moved up 16 spots. For those of you wanting to keep up with him, he's now up into 12th place. He'll probably need a caution to get up to these leaders. But boy, that's a really slow turn there by Dan Murray. And that's going to cause Brian to have to get out of it.
Wow, that was close. Yazik having to make the evasive move there.
Yeah, look how much Scrooper has ran away from Mellendorf at the front here, Sean. I think Mellendorf really has burned his tyres off in the opening stages, and the reason we've got such a tense battle here is because he's actually holding these guys up a little bit.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, was maybe Scrooper taking care of his equipment just a little bit, saving it when he started to sense that this might go for a long green flag run, maybe saved a little bit here for this. He's putting himself in great position to be the first one in the pit.
Dan Murray does not want to give up that position. He ran Brian Yazik all the way down to the grass on the front straight last time around. This time on the back straight, he's not going to be as lucky. He can try and pinch Yazik down here, though, and try and see if Yazik will wash up and have to get out of a throttle, but that's not going to happen. The number 55 moves up into 4th position.
Yazik able to keep that truck down on the bottom line still.
Oh, Paul Pepper got really loose there on the transition from the apron back to the racetrack. So top 3 right now. Scrooper, Dalton, Mellendorf, but not for very long. Here comes Yazik.
Yeah, Yazik about to take another spot. Yeah, I said Yazik was in a Ford. He's actually in the Chevrolet Silverado. My bad there earlier.
Yeah, well
yeah, that's right. We don't have the Ford truck in iRacing.
I was about to say, Sean, you can be excused given the fact Yazik's going so fast right now. It's kind of hard to tell what the emblem is on the front of his truck there.
Yeah, I just know it's got to pain Yazik, though, because I know he's a blue oval guy through and through, and that's why I just went to the blue oval there. But yeah, man, the pace that he's throwing down right now, even though Scroopa was faster that last lap, it wasn't by much. And Brian Yazik is just really unhinged right now in this opening segment of the race.
Yeah, Josh Scrooper and Tyler Dalton, the top 2 right now, and Chevy Silverado's ahead of Brian Yazik's Honda Accord. Brian Mellendorf and Paul Pepper round out the top 5. And an early stop for Tommy Amasi. I've got to imagine that's unscheduled. He'd been running toward the back of the lead lap.
Can we look back at the battle for 7th? Jeff Gow looking to the inside of Big Joe Hasser. Got a little help from behind by Travis McQuiston. McQuiston going to go to the top with Big Joe as they head into 1.
Things are going to get tight here. The inside lane, as we mentioned, not as good as it... Oh, went into the wall!
Yeah, McQuiston just turns right into the wall.
Heads up driving by the pack behind him not to run into him.
I think it tightened up on him there as he was coming off the turn, Sam. We'll look here. Yeah, it does. Looked like it snapped on him there.
I think I saw a couple of trucks do that in practice as well. I wonder if that's just a downside to the setup once you get so many laps on the tyres. Boy, there's another huge pack of trucks running around 15th place being led by Brad Collins. And that's all being kicked off by the fact Devin Cannon is dropping back. Remember, he was in the top 10 earlier. Well, he just dropped back to 18th, so I wonder if he used up his equipment too early. Here's your guy, Sean, making the move for 2nd.
Yeah, it's time. Let's get busy here. Yazik again, just working the bottom of that track and really got good speed. Going to get by Dalton. Himself up to 2nd, using the apron as well, transitioning back up on the track. Real nice.
That will give Yazik 2nd place. Despite having started in 19th position, he has made up all of those spots under green.
Now he can get to work on trying to catch Josh Scroopa. Scroopa only a 2.5 seconds up the track.
give them a couple of laps in clean air here to see what the lap times are. 32.2 last time around for Scooper, 32.3 for Jarzik. Well, of course, that's thrown off by the fact that Jarzik was involved in the battle. Talking about the battle, 3 wide, 6th place. It's Drew Carroll going through the middle. Remember, the guy who took the pole, and now Carroll's in front, but there's 3 wide behind him.
Big Joe Hassert making it 3 wide now, all the way down on the bottom. He's got to keep it down there. Oh, Hassert's loose, and Degla gets into the back of him. That's going to be a yellow.
Caution as the leaders are pitting. Josh Scruper and Tyler Dalton and Drew Carroll had all just gone into the pits, and those drivers are going to be leading by the time we go back racing.
I think I know what happened there. I think Hassert decided he was going to go to the pit also. Watching here real closely, I think he hits that transition bad. It throws the truck up into the air, right into Degla. Oh, boy. Let's look at it from Pierre. Maybe, Sam, maybe Pierre's angle will give us a better look at this.
Yeah, well, let's consider the fact also Drew Carroll at the front of his pack was coming into the pits. But as you mentioned, that's kind of too early in the turn to be a reaction to what Carroll was doing. So a collision between Pierre Daigle and Joe Hassert brings out our first caution of the day. Just as green flag stops, we're getting set to start. You see some cars running on the apron to make sure they have enough fuel to get around to pit road, which should be open this time. Here they come. Jarzik leads them down into the pits. Of course, all these drivers will come out behind those who are pit just before the yellow flew. Expect all of these trucks will be taking 4 tyres. Now, Jarzik doesn't have a desired pit stall, of course, because of the fact he qualified so far back. Dan Murray is the driver with the closest pit stall, the pit exit. We got one truck there. Jonathan Lawrence has completely missed his stall. Here comes Jarzik. He's coming out of the pits. Will he win the race off of pit road? Looks like he does. No! Ryan Mellendorf. Mellendorf wins the race off of pit road. Scooper will lead them back to green. Tommy Amasi has been given the Coastal Safety Auditor's lucky dog. We remember he had that unscheduled stop, as you see Brutus there on your screen, and I believe this will put him back on the lead lap. So even though he had a very early unscheduled stop, I'm sure isn't going to help his sequence, he's still in this race.
That's right, Coastal Safety Auditors, your one-stop shop for fire and life safety equipment and services, Sam.
Alright, so working lap 36 here under caution. And so, Scooper, the only driver who didn't pit under the yellow?
Well, that's because Scooper had already come in, Sam. He was one of those drivers that had dipped to pit road. Along with...
The thing that's surprising me, Sean, is why did the other drivers who also pit before the caution came out, why did they not stay out? They should be ahead of Mellendorf and Jarzik. Because Drew Carroll came into the pit. And Carroll's being shown a lap down right now, which is confusing.
Yeah, not quite sure exactly how that worked out, Sam. I'm trying to gather it up here now. I know Scooper never went in. Neither did Tyler Dalton yet, showing.
Yes, so Tyler Dalton and Drew Carroll were trapped a lap down. Tyler Dalton is on the tail end of a lead lap right here, and I can only guess it's because how the caution fell. If they served their pit stop after the yellow had flown, the way the pace car must have picked them up, they must have been trapped either a lap down or on the tail end of a lead lap. And so usually when you pit right before caution flies, it means you're on the lead lap and you're going to be leading the field back to green. That's what's happened to Josh Cooper here. It looks like the drivers who joined him down pit road before the yellow flew weren't as lucky.
Boy, luck, yeah. That all came down to luck, and certainly bad luck for those guys. But we are gone side by side here down the back stretch. That can mean just one thing, Sam.
Yeah, we're about to go back racing. Now, of course, even though Scrooper pitted earlier than the cars behind him, the trucks behind him, he doesn't have any green flag racing laps on his tyres, so he shouldn't be at a deficit there. And even fuel-wise, the extra fuel he would have been burning has been under caution, so I think he's still pretty much on the same strategy as all those behind him. Mellendorf, Jarzik, and then Go is back as well as Paul Pepper. So let's wait and see what happens in this second run. Scroop has control of the field, pace car is off, and now he's underway, gets another nice jump. Building up speed as they come to turns 1 and 2. Once again, the inside lane, the desired lane to be on the restarts. Brian Jarzik taking full advantage of it to move up to second there to Mellendorf. Mellendorf about to be freight trained here.
Watch out, watch out. Paul Pepper on the inside.
Scooper going to try and build up a lead here because I'm sure he's all too aware of how fast Jarzik has been in the opening stages. Mind you, of course, Scooper has been no slouch himself. He started 4th on the grid, so he definitely has speed in that number 25 machine. Scooper leads Jarzik, Pepper, Mellendorf and Johnston as they all come around to complete lap 5. Haven't mentioned that name yet tonight. Number 54 of Tim Johnston running in 5th place. He was 12th fastest in practice, 8th fastest in qualifying, and as soon as we point him out he begins to drop back a bit further as Jeff Go now going to take 5th.
Yeah, Go getting a nice run down there on the bottom, Sam. Again, you know, it seems to vary from driver to driver. Some really like that bottom groove. Some of them work in the middle. Just behind. Go ahead.
I was going to say, there was Tyler Dalton was back in the pits there. I wonder if he had an extra bit of a penalty or something to serve after our last caution. So a bad day gone worse for a driver who started up front.
Yeah, Tyler, unfortunately not heading the right way on the board, is he there, Sam?
He is not. Meanwhile, I was keeping an eye out at turn 4. We have a battle going on about 19th place where the trucks were getting a bit too close for comfort, but they got out of the turn okay. Jarzik is right behind Scooper. Can he do anything about it?
I don't think he's going to try to do anything with him just yet. I think Jarzik's happy to sit there and follow, as long as Paul Pepper doesn't put too much pressure on him. I think a lot of your battling is going to happen right now behind these guys trying to get their tune, Sam.
Right now they're all single file, trying not to burn up too much of their equipment. They all know they've still got one more stop, but they're racing hard because the final half of this race will go by in a hurry, I'm sure. And especially with the amount of trucks still on the lead lap, 24 trucks on the lead lap, you're going to want to make sure you're in the front half of the field. There's a big points difference between the leader and 10 seconds behind the leader.
A lot of traffic catching up to Pierre Degla on track right now. That truck is still slow, off pace. He's still out there doing a good job of getting out of the way.
Yeah, saw the huge pack going by him, being led by Rick Thompson in 10th place. They're Noah's Ark, 2x2 behind him.
And you know who's really starting to pick up a lot of ground? That's Jake Wright, the number 27 Toyota. Jake is really on the move. He's up 13 spots. He's getting a good battle now with Tim Johnston. But Jake, faithful to that bottom line and able to get past all three of those trucks and now start to go to work on Rick Thompson. Jake now in the top 10.
Yeah, well, this is a story we kind of flew under our radar at the start of this race with what was going on to Drew Carroll. But let's not forget that Drake Wright didn't turn the lap in qualifying, so he started 24th. But he is a driver all too familiar with running up front, so he's slowly going to be working his way up there. And I'm sure we'll see more of that number 27 machine in the second half of the race.
Yeah, Jake Wright, the two-time Lionheart IndyCar Series champion, wheeling this Toyota truck around here tonight. The SurveySystem.com machine is on the move, looking for a podium finish. He can get there.
He's got a bit of traffic in front of him, which isn't bad, which isn't good news when you've got traffic in front of you, but it is good news, and isn't that it means positions in front of you that you can pick off, and if Drake keeps doing what he's doing, he'll certainly move his way by them in the next stages. I've been keeping an eye on the battle up front. Yazik's still behind Scoop. He's put his nose in on the inside a couple of times, hasn't made a move yet, and I wonder if he's thinking about making a move soon, due to the fact that Paul Pepper has also caught up with him, and he doesn't want to risk losing second position to the driver of a number 29.
I think Yazik's playing the long game here, Sam. I think that truck is better on the long run for him, and I think he's saving tires and maybe even just a little bit of fuel right here. Smart play by Yazik going on, I think.
Yeah, and they're coming around to complete lap 49 this time by, which means in 1.5 miles we will be halfway here. And it looks like when they get there, our American Pool Supply Halfway Award will go to Josh Scruper. But let's see if Yazik does have anything to say about it.
He wants that award now. Yazik going to try and set it up, but I don't know if he's going to be able to pull off a pass here. Just a little bit too much distance between him. Maybe he can get him in the turn here. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe if this was the Checkered Flag and Trophy Award, we would see Yazik run a bit more aggressively into turns 3 and 4 here. Sure enough, Scruper is going to lead at a halfway point here and take that American Pool Supply Halfway Award at Las Vegas. But Yazik now is going to think about leading the second half of this race.
or is he off a lap? Does he think he's fighting for that halfway award right now?
There's a possibility he's going to go for it. If he ends up being in victory lane tonight, we're going to have to ask him.
Well, give him the lead. Yazik's got it, but the wrong lap, unfortunately. But you know what? Could be a great start to the second half of this race, Ed.
Yeah, for those of you saying, well, maybe he thinks the race will go 102 laps as he actually loses a bit of traction here. iRacing doesn't have green-white checkered, so of course this race will end on lap 100, whether it is green or yellow. And Scruper once again has the lead. And boy, that almost makes me wonder if Yazik's like, yep, I led that lap, I can go back to running in second now.
Yeah, a lot of great races, Sam, but you know, while the racing maybe has settled down just a little bit here up front, you know, we talk about the green-white checker. You know, we know that iRacing has not just been working on dirt. They've been working on a lot of things behind the scenes. I wonder how close we are to actually maybe seeing that. Maybe that's one of those surprises they're holding out for us. I know their commitment to NASCAR and the Monster Energy Cup. It's just got to make me wonder if maybe some of those changes are coming and coming soon.
It's a possibility. I'm still mesmerized by this battle up front right now, just waiting to see if Yazik's going to take it. He's looking down the low side on the back straight again. This isn't the way to save your equipment, Sean.
No. Also not real safe being right just inches away from the quarter panel of the truck in front of you.
23 trucks on the lead lap right now. If a caution did come out, which it doesn't look like it will in the upcoming stages, Drew Carroll is the first truck a lap down. So he's the one most hoping for a yellow. Battle for fifth shaping up. Jeff Go holding on ahead of Paul Nicholas Cooper. I haven't gave this driver a shout out today. He's another driver that didn't turn a lap during qualifying, even though he was only 13th fastest in practice and he started in 25th. Somehow he has made his way up to 6th.
Boy, and Sam, for all that Paul Nicholas Cooper is doing, don't look now, but I think our friend Mr. Carroll is on his way to trying to get back on the lead lap of this race. It's going to be tough. But he is moving through the field. He just passed another truck, and now he's got Dan Murray in front of him, just trying to climb his way back up to this thing and hope for caution.
Couple of spots behind Drake Wright, another driver who started at the back, just got in the wall exit in turn 2. That costs him 11th position to Reed Rundell.
For all that hard charging that Jake was doing, unfortunately it might have come at the cost of the handling on that machine. Maybe burn up those tires just a little bit. We are just over 22 laps into their run.
Let's not forget us about halfway through a fuel run. I was watching the battle for third coming off of turn 4 because they were going by the lap car Fred Thompson, who was making his way into the pits. It got a little bit hairy, but Paul Pepper holds on to his third position ahead of Brown Mellendorf. So top 2 running nose to tail, then 3rd and 4th running nose to tail, so are 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th. Drivers in 7th and 8th haven't gave them a shout out for a bit. So Brad Collins and Rick Thompson.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to James Pagula. Not here tonight, couldn't be, stuck at work doing a stupid inventory, can't be at this race. We got a good one on tap this evening, and he's missing all the fun.
I don't know what's happened to Devon Cannon. He had been running just outside the top 10, and then last lap he just slowed and went to the apron, and now he's coming into the pits. I wonder if there's some kind of out of iRacing commitment or distraction he's had to attend to, but for no apparent reason he has just backed up the pace and now bringing it into the pit.
Sometimes, Sam, life happens. You just don't know what might be going on there in someone's situation. That's a shame he's had to pull off like that.
Yeah, one of the best forum posts I ever read, someone was saying that they lost a race because their cat jumped onto their lap and dropped them a dead snake.
Yeah, that would have been an ender for me too.
Don't think I've ever seen anything like that happen in real life. Though NASCAR did have an owl on the racetrack last weekend, I'm not sure I've ever seen a snake on the racetrack. The battle for the P5 heating up. Here goes Paul Nicholas Cooper picking up another position. And if they don't resolve this too quickly, Jeff Go could lose 6th to Rick Thompson. Rick Thompson getting into this side-by-side battle now and make it a 3-way battle for position. They've pulled away from Brad Collins in 8th a little bit.
Paul Cooper in that reading rainbow machine being followed here by Rick Thompson real closely. Rick
you an
just... Go ahead, Sam.
I was going to say, give you an update that Cannon has returned to the track, so whatever happened to him, he seems to be back up to speed now. Oh, wow, things got close there.
Yeah, Cooper almost gets, Gal almost gets into the back of Cooper there. Gal smartly gets out of the pedal. Here it is on the replay here.
Yeah, and once we're done with this replay, we'll get back up to live action where the 5th place is on again, but this time 2 new drivers. Rick Thompson has been working his way through the field and now takes 5th place ahead of Cooper. Let's see if Cooper attempts a crossover here, but Thompson started 11th, is now up to 5th.
Yeah, and Cooper started to get a run down the backstretch and backed out of it just as starting in a run, but Cooper still got a good run going here. Watch out, because Gao is, he's peeking down here.
No changes in the top 4. Top 2 still run nose to tail, as do the trucks in 3rd and 4th. This is definitely the best battle on the track, right? Oh, and into the wall
In
goes
the wall.
Thompson.
Oh, and he's still in it. Yeah, he couldn't get off of it, and when he did, it shot him right back up in there, so he hit it twice, Sam, and does a little bit of damage to the right side of that machine. Loses several spots there.
And here's battle for the lead. Jarzik looking again. Almost wonder if Thompson needs to come into the pits, Sean. We're in the window where you can make it to the end now. He beat his truck up quite a bit there. He's lost momentum. Come into the pits and try and pull a couple of fenders out while you're putting 4 tyres on it.
Yeah, I think now would be the right time. I think you're right there, Sam. Brian Jarzik, though, making a move here up front, heading down to 1. He gets all the way down on the apron. Here they go into 1. Jarzik on the inside, looking good, looking tight down there on the line. Can he pull this off on Skrupa coming out of 2? Skrupa getting a nice run up top.
Green flag stops have started for drivers around 10th place, Dan Murray and Drake Wright. Let's see if any of our leaders are going to follow them in. No takers so far.
Yeah, Jarzik and Skrupa have opened up about a 2-second gap on the field.
Thompson almost loses it. That damage Rick Thompson had must have affected the aerodynamics, because he was in a full Tokyo style drift there, exiting turn 4, able to save it though, and we continue under green.
Yeah, we'll catch that Tokyo drift here.
Oh, Jarzik really is looking for this lead, Sean.
He really is, man. This is a good battle.
Brad Collins into the pits, Rick Thompson too.
Look at Skrupa just with the power off that top line there is just pulling away from Jarzik, and now Jarzik going to catch him back up here, probably out of 4, unless Jarzik's setting up for a pit stop right here. Nope, not this time.
Yeah, they would have been bulked behind the lap truck of Don Runkle Jr. if they tried to come into the pits that time by.
I have a feeling he might have been thinking about it, and then he saw Runkle there and had to just stay where he was at. But again, now on the offensive.
Oh, we're really starting to get some trucks loose out of turn 4. Norman Pelletier just had to slide out of a turn as well. I wonder if this is a something that happens when these tyres come to the end of a fuel run.
Yep, here comes Skrupa.
Yep. Alright, so Skrupa is in, as is Paul Pepper and Brian Mellendorf behind. They'll have an extra lap on cleaner tyres here.
Now remember, Jarzik has been taking pretty good care of his equipment. Now, I don't think he can afford to stay out of here too long, but he may have about a 2 or 3 lap cushion where he can continue to run here. Nope, and he's not going to. He's calling for the pit stop now. Gonna take it. Here comes the HPP Simulations Chevy Silverado down the pit lane.
This is the second... I just want to give an update on Mellendorf. That was the second time he's been into the pits. So I wonder if he missed his pit stall last time around. So that's a bit of a bummer there for Mellendorf. It would have been a good run.
Oh no, we got trouble in the backstretch. It's Joe Hassert in trouble in the backstretch, and oh no, he gets into Pierre Degla again? Did I see that right?
No caution. Oh, Hassett lost it on his own, and yeah, he slides down and hits Tegel again. Those two trucks are magnets today.
Yeah, let's ride on board Pierre, already fighting an ill-handling truck. Up here on the top side, you see Hassert up there in front, and then comes down and clips Pierre. Pierre does a great job of hanging on to it. But insult to injury for Pierre Degla.
Yeah, as we come back to live action here, let's take a look at Josh Scruper. Well, here's Brian Jarzik. You see how he's just entering turn 3? Now let's go to Scruper after the pit stop. Scruper is exiting turn 4. He's a few seconds ahead of Jarzik. I think 4 is the exact number, but we're going to have to wait for timing and scoring to sort out, because I think there's another car in between them, Drew Carroll, who is yet to pit. Yeah, do the math there, it's about 3 seconds.
Yeah, looking at it at just over 3 seconds right now. Jarzik, Paul Pepper looking to make a move on Jarzik on the inside here. That is for position. Pepper moving up to 4th place.
This could be another instance, like you were saying, Sean, of Brian just saving his stuff for late in the run.
Okay, now with Reed Rundell in the pit, Scrupa going to move up into the lead. Drew Carroll the second, but Drew Carroll still has to pit. Drew been out there for now 41 plus laps.
Yeah, Carroll knows he's losing a lot of time by running out here on these old tyres. Remember, he did pit a bit after everyone else after that first caution. But this is the only way he can try and get back on the lead lap, really. But now he would be out of fuel. He has to come into the pits, and it's just not going to be the day that was shaping up to be earlier on for Drew Carroll.
Right, now here goes this battle for the lead, Sam, with just now 25 laps to go. You've got Mellendorf. I'm sorry, not Mellendorf. I'm just going to talk about Jarzik. Now trying to catch Josh Scrupa and Paul Pepper. Mellendorf with a great run here, still going.
I'm trying to work out how Mellendorf is in 4th, because I'm sure I saw him down pit road twice under the last yellow.
Yeah, I've only got him for 2 pit stops tonight, Sam.
Yeah, no, something must have just been screwed up on my replay button there, because sure enough, he was only down pit road once. So my apologies there to Mellendorf fans, he is still in the top 5.
Got a battle for 5th back here, Sam. Yeah, that's Dan Murray, Paul Cooper mixing it up.
Yeah, Cooper's taken it from Murray. But in the closing stages of a race, if you lose a position, you're sure they're going to want to get it back.
What a run for Cooper tonight, up from 25th spot, Sam.
Yeah, like I say, that even though he didn't turn the lap during qualifying, I just didn't expect him to be that strong, considering the fact he was only 13th fastest in practice. But sure enough, Cooper proving he has good racecraft there in that number 17 machine.
Finding some strength in the rainbow this evening, Sam.
Yeah, he's had 2 starts this season and 1 top 5. This will be a second one tonight.
Wow, I'm starting to wonder if they can catch Scrupa here. Scrupa doesn't really have a whole lot of traffic in front of him to deal with here at the second, Sam. Gonna be tough. Running out of time with 20 laps to go this time across the line.
Yeah, well, Scrupa has slightly older tyres, which might not mean a whole lot right now early on in the run, but I wonder exponentially if later in the run it will end up hurting him worse as his tyres begin to get worn, with comparison to Paul Pepper, who's 3 seconds behind him, and Brian Jarzik and Brian Mellendorf, who are fighting for 3rd, about 4 seconds behind him.
Boy, Jarzik has really lost pace with Paul Pepper, and now has found himself in the clutches of Brian Mellendorf. I wonder what's going on there with the HPP simulation truck, but he just doesn't seem to have the pace he had on that last run. On board with Mellendorf, trying to make the pass here, heading into 1. Oh, Yazik hits just a piece of the wall as he makes his entry.
That's a possibility that he may have grazed the wall at some point during the previous run. That's really the only way in the fixed setup race that your handling is going to be altered.
Oh, Reed Rundell with a tough exit off of turn 4 and slides down into the pit lane. Ouch.
It may have been Norm Pelletier. I think it's Norm Pelletier who has a similarly coloured car.
It sure was, and Norm getting off of turn 4, you're going to see here on the replay, the truck snaps around on him and he tank slaps the pit wall there as he gets in.
Reed Rundell actually just had a good lap. He moved up to 13th ahead of Jonathan Lawrence, one of the last drivers to pit under the cycle, kind of taking the gamble that a caution flag would fly. It didn't. He lost a lot of time on the old tyres, but now he's making it up on the newer tyres. So as you mentioned here, Sean, Josh Scruper with a 2.5 second lead now, not as much as it was before, but in the 5th round of the season, this is, I believe, Scruper's first start of the year. Not a bad start. Oh no, I apologise, his 3rd start of the year. He's much further back in the points than I expected, because he hasn't been in all the races. He's had 1 top 5 finish. Now going to add a win in just his 3rd race of the season.
Boy, and it doesn't look like anybody's going to get any help with a caution flag here. We are just setting an incredible pace this evening. Hats off to the Premier Racing League. What a show they've given us here. Lots of green flag racing tonight, Sam.
Yeah, Reed Rundell, the driver you pointed out mistakenly there, Sean, is really the best driver to watch right now on track on those newer tyres. He's caught Travis McQueestrom for 12th place. Trying to see, he would have to make up about 4 or 5 seconds in the last 14 laps, I think, to break into the top 10.
Yeah, that's what it looks like it's going to take, about 4.5 seconds to catch Rick Thompson.
Jeff Go is the driver in 11th, separating the two.
Maybe Reed can get a little bit of push here from McQuiston. It doesn't look like it, but yeah, good job, good recovery for Reed here in the race.
Going back to P6 here is Dan Murray in the battle with Brad Collins.
Yeah, and Drew Carroll right there, not for position, just still trying to hang on. Drew Carroll is. Obviously still has the pace.
Yeah, well, he has those newer tyres because he was really banking on a caution there. Unfortunately for him, never came, and even if it came now, it will be too late for him to really make any inroads on the leaders.
Yeah, it was a gamble, and I just don't know if he's going to have snake eyes this evening. Don't think we're going to be able to roll that one out. I don't know. 11 laps left. Anything can happen, Sam. Oh, Dan Murray has trouble off the turn there.
Yeah, Brad Collins, I think, just took the air off of the left side of him. He really got the run coming off the turn and took that 6th place away. That's a lap track of John Wilco going underneath him now. So Dan Murray drops back to 7th, Brad Collins up to 6th. One truck in the wall there.
Casey Campbell, it looked like coming out of turn 2, maybe having a little bit of trouble, and it continued through 3 and 4.
Entering the closing stages of this race now, less than 10 laps to go. We mentioned earlier how there's no green-white checkers in iRacing, so if we do make it to another 4 or 5 laps and the caution came out, that caution would end the race.
Yazik really turning up the wick here on Pepper. Looking to the inside in turn 1. Yazik going to try and take it away. He does. Pepper maybe looks to cross him over here, coming off the exit. He's looking at it.
I almost wonder if he's kind of scared to do too much battling with Yazik here, Sean, because he doesn't want to lose third place to Brian Mellendorf as well. But as you mentioned earlier in the broadcast about Yazik being bet on these long runs, he's definitely making his move now, but over 3 seconds back with only 7 laps left to go in this race.
That truck was really flying earlier in this race, in the first half of the race, when he was moving up through the field. He showed incredible speed. I just don't know if 3.5 seconds is doable, though. We just, when we get by here, it'll be 7 laps to go.
Come out of turn 4 now, and they'll cross the line and tick Cat off, so we're going to have a good battle for second here. They're far ahead of Paul Nicholas Cooper in 5th. Now, as far as the points go, Brian Yazik, I think, will enter our next race as the points leader, because Ryan Howard and James Kahula were the 2 points leaders entering this race, neither of them here tonight. So that, and with Yazik having a solid finish here of 2nd place, we'll get a healthy little cushion heading into Texas.
You see Pierre Degla up top there, number 14, getting out of the way, letting these boys by.
Yeah, unfortunately for the drivers who ran into trouble early on, since it's been such a clean race, they really haven't had a lot of opportunity to get repairs or to pick up positions from other drivers' misfortunes. This battle for second, though, could end in tears.
I was just thinking that, Sam. Yes, it could end in tears. Oh, man. But Yazik doing a really good job of hanging on here for just like the last 5 laps. We can't forget Yazik also having AMSOIL on that truck by Adam Blattel. Hashtag Adam Blattel.
We also can't forget how many trucks Yazik had to pass to get up here, starting 15th, starting 19th. 2 drivers in the top 5 right now started outside the top 15. In fact, 4 of the drivers in the top 10 did.
Yeah, and that's Jake Wright just getting into that top 10. Who says you need to qualify? Jeez.
Well, I'm sure drivers like Drew Carroll could point out that had he started on pole today, his race probably would be looking a lot different right now, as he's back there in 18th. Josh Scooper, though, after starting in 4th place, he's been running up front all day long.
Yeah, and they haven't been able to close this gap on him at all, Sam.
No, he's only 3 miles away here from what's almost pretty much a certain victory. Barring any internet connection, I leave it down to now. I don't even think lap traffic will play a role. Don Brunkel Jr. and Tommy and Marcy are in front of him, but quite a little ways as he works his way through turns 1 and 2. About just 2 miles left now for the driver of that number 25 truck, separating him from his first win of the season. Here he comes. White flag is in the air for Josh Scooper. He's got a 3.5 second lead over our battle for second. We'll go back to that. Yazik still ahead of Pepper, ahead of Mellendorf with just 1.5 miles left to go. But Scooper is leading them through turns 1 and 2. He almost gets into the wall now. He just backs out of it, exiting turn 2, though he knows he's got a great cushion behind him. We have one truck off in the grass on the front straight, that's Rick Thompson, but that'll be cleared by the time Scroop exits turn 4, and he'll cross the finish line to take a win here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Brian Yazek going to come home second. Paul Pepper going to take third. Brian Mellendorf in fourth in the American Pool Supply 150. Wow, what a race. One caution, Sam.
Yeah, very clean finish to this race. Paul Cooper 5th, Tim Johnston in 6th position, 7th to Brad Collins. And Drefko, Dan Murray and Drake Wright going to round out our top 10, and we'll give you the full race rundown here in just a few moments here on the GSRC. We'll be taking the break though to get these drivers mic'd up so we can talk to some of our top finishers tonight, including our race winner here, the driver of number 25 Chevrolet Silverado, Josh Scooper, is going to burn it down here for the fans at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Hello and welcome back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where we just witnessed 100 laps of racing action here at the American Pool Supply 150, round 5 of a Premier Racing League American Pool Supply Truck Series. And at the end of the day, the race winner was Josh Scruper in the number 25 machine. He won by over 3.5 seconds to Brian Jarzik in the Honda Accord. Paul Pepper finished in 3rd place ahead of Brian Mellendorf and Paul Cooper, rounding out the top 5. Tim Johnston, Brad Collins, Jeff Go, Dan Murray, and Jake Wright all rounded out the top 10.
All right, we'll go back to 11th. That's going to be Reed Rundell with a good run tonight. 12th, Travis McQuiston. 13th, Rick Thompson. Billy Tungate, decent run tonight. 14th, Jonathan Lawrence. And 15th, Tyler Dalton, big loser this evening. Down 14 spots, going to have to settle for 16th. Drew Carroll maybe got bit by an iRacing glitch. I'm not sure. We're going to investigate that a little bit further. He'll finish 17th. Jeff Ryan, 18th. Tommy Amassi, 19th. Snoop Doggy Don Runkle going to be 20th tonight.
Yeah, and all those trucks finished 1 lap down at the worst. Now we get to the drivers who ran into trouble tonight. Steve Harrin, John Wilco, Norm Pelletier, Devon Cannon, Fred Thompson, Pierre Daigle, Casey Campbell, and Joe Hassett. Rounding out the field of 28 trucks here. Only had 1 caution all race long, which means we got to see some really good racing, but also unfortunately Sean meant the drivers involved in early incidents weren't really able to get a chance to get back in the show. But one driver, Sean, pretty much led most of the show, and that was Josh Scruper. You've caught up with him in victory lane.
Josh Scruper, incredible pace this evening. What a run for you, sir. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. It was a blast. We've been out for 3 weeks here with a broken wheel. It feels great to come back and start it off with a win. Gotta thank everybody at Unacceptable. Gotta thank Norm Pelletier and MP3 Designs for painting the car. And of course, you guys, GSRC, I'm sure is a great show. Man, what a race.
Yeah, this is only what, your 3rd start of the season. Tell us what happened with the wheel real quick, with the old wheel.
It must have been some kind of electronics issue. It seemed like, I guess they said it was shorting out and was causing calibration issues. It happened, I guess, like 6 laps to go in the V8 Supercar race 3 weeks ago, and it took me out of the race, and ever since then I've just been waiting to get back.
Well, you come back in glorious fashion, my friend. Tell us a little bit about the track this evening. What made you so fast out there?
I don't know. This is about the only 1.5 miles that I actually kind of get. I'm normally not so good at them. There's just that line where you're kind of high getting into 1 and you sweep down low to come off a 2. And then getting into 3, there's a spot where if you let off just right, the truck will kind of rotate itself and you kind of got to gas it then and help it rotate even more. Just one of those rhythm and feel tracks that once you get it, you get it.
Yeah, and tonight you really did, Josh. And listen, we appreciate seeing that type of racing. Are you surprised that we only had 1 caution this evening?
I am. It's funny that it happened to come right after we pitted, because that seems like our luck this year. Whenever we try to do those strategy pit stops, we end up getting worked over by the caution. But I love it. I love the caution-free racing. I love having to save tires. So it was great for me.
Well, listen, you kind of got behind the 8 ball here in the points by missing those races, but you're going to have some drops to work with, and listen, you get yourself a win, and that's going to give you a nice reward in the points. Congratulations tonight, Josh.
Thanks again, guys. Yeah, we got the stage win and got the win, so max points, and it looks like we'll probably have to make every race here on out. Hopefully no more issues, and who knows, maybe we can go for the championship still.
All right, buddy. Well, we wish you the best, and we will see you next week.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
All right, that is Josh Scruper, your big winner tonight, the number 25. And our friend Sam Ryman has caught up with Brian Jarzik. Talk to him about that big finish tonight.
Yes, Brian, congratulations on finishing 2nd after starting 19th tonight.
Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, that was, man, I'm tired. That was a heck of a drive through there.
Yeah, early on, I mean, you did it all under green. I know we had 1 caution flag tonight, but even in the early stages, you'd worked your way up to battling up front despite starting that far back. Did you know you would have a strong performance tonight?
Yeah, I'm much more of a long run guy than hot lapping. So when I've qualified 19th, I was I didn't really sweat it. I just knew I had to get through the madness, through the middle of the pack and get on up there. And it was really cool. I mean, we took it easy for the first couple laps and really kind of picked and choose, when to make moves and get up there. And we must have saved the tires great because, I mean, after about 10 laps, this HPPsimulation.com Chevrolet was, it was just hooked up, man. That was fun.
Okay, it is a Chevrolet. We weren't sure if it was a Ford or a Honda Accord out there you were driving tonight. Okay, so Chevrolet there for the number 55 truck there, Jarzik. Now,
there's something I'm going to have to go back and watch there, I'm guessing.
Now, we got a question here, though. You led at lap number 51. Did you think you were leading lap number 50?
I don't know. I wasn't really paying any attention.
Tell the truth.
I was fighting for it, and I knew it depends because halfway is 50, but sometimes they pay on 51. I haven't quite got the full clarification on that, so I drove the hell out of that thing going into turn one, and it didn't quite stick. Scrupa, he pretty much just pinned me down there, and that's the right thing to do in that situation. So, it is what it is, but not quite maximum points. But here's the situation, though, is that all the guys that were racing in points had either weren't here in the case of Howard and Krahula, or they had bad nights like Dalton and Thompson and all that. So from a point standpoint, because that's kind of how I have to look at these long seasons, from a point standpoint, I think we did just about as good as we needed to.
All right, last question I'm going to ask, Brian. We saw on the restarts the inside lane was the lane to be, but as the race went on, it was kind of a higher lane was the place where people were making passes. Was that just a matter of how the tyres wore, that you could run flat out on the bottom at the start of a run?
Oh, yeah. I mean, those first couple laps. Now, here's the thing, is it was a trade-off. If you could run those first 5 laps just digging, but you killed your right front tire. So it just kind of depended on what you wanted to give up, at one point in the run. So we took the pretty cautious approach, and we got through there after the green flag. We were flat out and won, and then this next lap around we were lifting to try to hit our mark. So it just kind of depends on how people wanted to take it. We here at the 55 team and Paul, because we're sitting there talking about it on TeamSpeak. We were both long run guys, so that's really what we were trying to keep the tires on for.
All right, well, congrats on your second place finish tonight, Brian. We look forward to seeing you back in Texas.
Sounds great. Shout out to Loud Pedal Motorsports, 2-3 finish. We swept all last week, so eventually we had to get knocked off of our throne. So it happens. You'll get that on this big time simulated auto racing, but PRL and you guys for hanging out and putting on the show and all that. And once again, HPPsimulation.com, clipping that Apex. Let's see, what else do we got here? I'll spare the full one for you, but I never give him a shout. At least Elite Custom Graphics, look him up on Facebook. He hooks pretty much all of us up here at Loud Pedal Motorsports with our schemes, and you can see they are just as good looking as they are fast. So Elite Custom Graphics on Facebook.
All right, so that was Brian Jarzik, our second place finisher. As he mentioned, his teammate finished just one position behind him. Sean, you've caught up with Paul Pepper.
Paul Pepper shows up to his second race tonight, and by God, puts that truck on the podium. Congratulations, Paul.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Didn't think I was going to be competing for a top 5, let alone a top 3, so definitely a good night.
Yeah, and what was the secret to that? I mean, you really, that truck seemed hooked up this evening.
The secret is just an awesome team. Guys like Brian and Scott and Michael, Jeff, Drew, Woody. I just got a really good team that is willing to share information and help you out. I think Scott rode around with me for 10 laps or so in practice and was kind of coaching me on where to be and what to do, and it just ended up working out. Had to work for it for sure, holding off that 41 with Brian, so I want to thank him for running me clean. It was getting really loose there the last 15 laps or so of a run, but yeah, we were able to bring it home and just really, really happy. I'm not good in these trucks, so that's almost like a win.
All right, Paul, the big question. It's been driving us nuts ever since practice. You got that SpaceX sponsor on the truck tonight. Come on, let's get the story on that.
Okay, so the story behind that is that's a buddy of mine up at work. It's Jesse Spacek is how it's pronounced.
Spacek, okay.
Spacek, yeah. We call it Space K and every other word you can think of to try and pronounce it. But that's a buddy of mine at work that tuned into GSRC last year and saw one of the broadcasts and wondered how he could get involved and. Just want to thank him for all the support that he's put behind us. He sponsored the first block of the season, so it's good whenever we do run these truck races to get up front like that. I asked him what he wanted on the truck, and he said just a picture of his face, and it's a picture of his face and his last name. So he's Canadian. He wanted an American truck, so I got shout out to Nick Cohan on that awesome paint job to make that truck as American as we possibly could. And yeah, that's the story behind that. Just a big thanks to the whole Spacek or Space Cave family. Jesse's grandma turned 99 today, so it's a good run to get up in the top 3 and get some TV time for that whole family. And yeah, that's the story behind that.
Wow, 99 years old. Must be the water up there in Canada helping that cause out. But listen.
It's the water or the beer, one or the other.
The water or the beer, eh? Yeah. They said if we found a mouse in our beer, we'd get free beer, eh?
Yeah, man, yeah.
Paul, great run tonight. We hope to see you back on the podium next week. You going to make the race?
I'm going to be here for the Cup race on Thursday, and then I head back up to work for another 2 weeks, so I won't be around. But I'll be here for the Cup race Thursday, and hopefully have another strong run there with the Outliers Mining Solution Ford Fusion.
All right. Well, hey, Paul, again, congratulations, and we will see you when you get back. Great run tonight.
Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it, and a hell of a job on the broadcast there, guys. Can't wait to watch that.
Our thanks to Paul, Pepper, Sam, and thanks to you for filling in tonight, buddy. What a race we got to see.
Yeah, it was absolutely a great show out here tonight. I've got to be honest, when I saw the field size and the track temperature, I wondered if we were going to see the yellow fly a couple more times than what it did. But no, these drivers put on a nice clean show, a lot of high-speed side-by-side racing, strategy calls as well, and at the end of the day, I don't think you can take away from the fact that Scooper really was one of the, if not the fastest drive out there tonight, and he earned a well-earned victory there. Look forward to seeing what happens this time next week at Texas.
Yeah, I can't wait to get to Texas. Bit of a home track for me, and the races are never boring at Texas. Never. Guaranteed. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get there.
And we will be there. Same time, same place this time next week. Now the PRL Cup Series will be in action from here at Las Vegas Thursday night, so be sure to tune into the Global Sim Racing channel and check it out. Before we hang up our microphones for tonight, we got a few people we would like to thank, including the organisers and the competitors in the Premier Racing League for coming here tonight and putting on a fantastic show. We would also like to thank the makers of the various software and hardware that you see listed on your screen. Thanks to the team today, Amjad Yamin, Sean Ambrose, and our camera guru Dougie Beard. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com, along with archived races, upcoming broadcasts, and Honda Records. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at facebook.com/globalsimracingchannel. A special thanks goes out to Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde to provide us with our music. You can buy Eric's on iTunes and Spotify, and Casey's at caseylalonde.bandcamp.com. All of our upcoming races for our other series on screen, so be sure to check those out, mark them down on your calendar, and don't miss another second of exciting racing action. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.